tonight's project is one of these. Probably recognise it. It's a Trix, says underneath, only number D5379, so I think it's a class 27. And this is from my buddy Ian in Max Model Railroading in Kirriemuir here in Angus. I was in seeing him a couple of weeks ago, just after the Glasgow show. He had this in his shop and the customer handed it in, not running, so I offered to have a look at it for him. So here we go, apparently a non-runner. Other than that, I don't know anything about it. So let's get it onto the rolling road and see what happens. Sorry, I should have done a visual inspection first, so let me just correct that while I'm waiting. Overall, looks complete. It's got couplers at each end, buffers on the bogies. Chassis not too bad looking, nice grey roof. Both screws intact, look as if they're still original. Yeah, and in really nice clean condition for the age. So yellow cab fronts, just a little bit of paint scuffing for play. However, let's get it on to the rolling road now. So there's nothing untoward as far as I can see, so I don't have to worry about things later on, or if I do, I know what the way it caused it. So, on the rolling road, apply a bit of power. A lot happening. Obviously drawing current because the voltage is wavering both directions. Right, well, let's take body casing off. Two nice countersunk screws painted in roof grey. Brass screws, and the body shell just seems to lift off. Looks in decent condition. And from experience, I see this, and I'm aware that these sometimes can cause problems. Looks quite complete. Feels like the motor is inside. Yep. So let me see what happens if I try and apply power directly across the motor terminals, which is there. Oops, I'm knocking them off over. Anyway, there we go. Nothing happening there. I'm just going to do a quick check on this diode block, but it does tend to cause problems. So on experience, I think it'd be worthwhile just having a quick measure across these. Nothing there. That doesn't look too bad actually. Reading there. 40 ohms, okay, and in there. Kind of low. Finally here and here. Remembering the bulbs are in situ. Nothing obviously short circuit, which is usually a good sign. At this point I'm going to remove the bogies, which gives me access to the contacts on the motor. You may remember These bogies are held in by a little pin through a turret. Oops. And the whole bogie lifts out, being careful not to lose the idler wheel. And similarly on the other side. Oops. Push it through a bit more this time. There we go. And again, front bogie, and we can investigate those later. So here we can get a look at the motor. Let's bring the camera in slightly. Just check and see if it runs freely. Now, one thing I've noticed is as I'm turning one bearing, whoops, this other one doesn't seem to be following suit. If I do it this way, yeah, okay, right. The power is fed through the wheels and the chassis to the body itself. That is your negative pole. And the positive pole is fed through the pickups onto here, and that goes to your motor. So I think it would be a good idea if I could apply my power between those two locations, here and here. And there was an attempt at moving there, so let me try it this time. Reverse. There's definitely an attempt at moving there, and you can feel the current being drawn. So let's see if we can investigate this slightly further. This PCB, which is a lighting PCB, simply lifts off. Two contacts for the lamp, so these copper strung contacts. And if I just check that the motor turns fairly freely, it seems to. Again, let me just try contacts as direct as I can. Negative contact on the chassis, positive contact here. And it's starting to run okay. I think it just might need a little bit of TLC. Okay. What I need to do now is get access to the bearings here and here. Right, I'm just going to stop the camera and I'll just take this out and lubricate it and try it again. Well, this is a motor out. You can see the contacts here. I've applied a little bit of lubrication to the bearings at each end. So let's see what happens now. And there's not much wrong with that. Noise because I think it's sitting on there, or on my table I should say. But other than that, I don't think there's much wrong with that. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of lubrication to the bearings here and here. See a little bit of fluff in here. Good, 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 good. Let's try and put it all back together again. Everything seems to be moving correctly. And just a little exercise in finesse, making sure that the wires are out of the way and that the gear linkage all lines up. And that seemed to work reasonably well. So I'm just going to put a couple of screws in to hold the mechanism in place. And there should be life when I apply power again. Like so, there and here. And there we go. There's everything all running smoothly again. Just for the sake of a little bit of lubrication. Looking good so far, so let's just finish replacing these motor fixing screws. You might be able to hear a little bit of rain pitter-pattering on the roof at some rate of knots. It's typical East Coast weather. As I came into my shed, I'm actually here kind of early, and it was a mixture of rain and sleet because it's cold out there. Right then, let's just fold this over, and now I have to put these light contacts behind each bulb. Yep, there we go. So, can I get the bulbs to light? Well, I just realised that they didn't light last time. I'm going to apply all that, nothing works. If I take it out, they work. So I have come back again to my suspicion that this diode block is in fact faulty. And I think just as a matter of course, if I come across these, I think I will just simply replace them because they are quite old. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this out and replace it with some IN4006s, which I know I have in my little drawer up there. As you can see, I've replaced the original diode block, this here, with two discrete diodes. These are IN4006s. If you're replacing these, I think it's important to remember that at this point here, the contacts are common, but one goes to the anode of one diode, but the cathode of the second, so that it allows the current to flow in different polarities. So with that in mind, let's have a look and see if this is now working. Just come out a little bit, and I'm just going to apply power. Negative pole here, positive pole there, and you can see the left hand light coming on quite nicely, and I can tell you the other one is not. So we'll change that round, and now this light here is working and the other one isn't. Oops, put that up there. So with that in mind, I think I'll turn my attention to the bogies for a little bit of cleaning and lubing. This is the bogie as it came out of the machine. First thing I'm going to do is just simply, for safety reasons, remove the idler wheel. These are quite solid, they're brass gears, and the contacts are down the side here on one side of the bogie. I can see in here a little bit of fluff. I don't get a lot of problems with these Trix bogies with the brass gears, so I'm just going to apply a little bit of oil. Tooth of one gear, tooth of the other. That will work in. I'm just going to clean contact sides and in here as well. And just the slightest bit of oil on the axles. Put the idler back in for safety, and similarly with the second bogie, take the idler out, quick look, looks alright. Again, do just a little bit of clean, take out some fluff. Absolute smoothings of oil on the gears and on the one pickup axles, there and there, and that will work its way in. Couplers nice and springy, brass gearing just goes on forever. And these contacts here at the tail end of the bogie are what transfers the power to the little PCB within the motor housing. So just check that's clean and plenty of tension there without breaking it, and similarly with the other side. And you may notice, I'll just point it out to you, let me just make sure that's in properly. Yep, but if you look at these two, they're not identical. In fact, the pickups on this here point in one direction, and the pickups point in the opposite direction. And the reason for that is it then makes it irrelevant which bogie goes in the front and which one goes in the rear. Because if they're back to back, you can see that the pickups are on the one side, so whatever rail the power is coming in, that's the pickups. And just to show, if I reverse them, you can see the same thing happens, that the side with the pickups is the same for both bogies. So it's a nice little feature, and it saves having to worry about lining them up. Right, so let me put that gear back in again, and we'll assemble it onto the chassis. And because of what I just said, there is no front and rear bogie, they're just one or the other. It's held in by this turret, and you can see the hole through it. When you slide it into the aperture, you'll see there's a slot here in the chassis showing the hole, and the pin just sits through there, and it fits its way through the idler gear. The casing will hold this in place, so you don't have to worry about it, and it will almost self-align. Second bogie, in like so. You can see the hole for the pin, and here's the pin here. And just gentle manoeuvring and it will line up the idler gear inside. Be careful, there isn't a fixing for this PCB. It's held on by gravity virtually, which means it's very easy for the contacts of the lamps to become dislodged. And if that happens, you've then got to refit the contacts, which I'm having to do. So let me just try and squeeze that in. There we go. One side and the other, and line up PCB with these fixing holes. This one doesn't want to play game. There we go. Right. Let's have another go on the rolling road. I was right, incidentally, about the diode block. There was leakage all over the place, and that's what was drawing the current away. So hopefully we should get a bit of success. Applying a little bit of power. Just trying to work the other way around. Yep, there we go. And back in the opposite direction. I think the problem is definitely contact through these rollers. Yep, there we go. Once it starts, usually you find it will settle down okay. But I think it definitely works. There we go. Oops, there we go. It definitely works. So I'm going to fit the lamps and we'll see what it looks like then. If I put the locomotive directly onto the rails on my rolling road, then it rolls. So the problem is in my rollers, my rolling road. So I'll give them a good clean, bit of lubrication, and hopefully that should make a big difference. Next thing I need to test is, are the correct lights lighting in the correct direction? So let's see what happens if I move it in one direction. I didn't notice that, I'm not busy watching to make sure it doesn't fall off the edge. And the lights aren't working at all, maybe because I haven't got enough power on them. Yep, that's working forward. And that's working there. Yes, the lights are working. I don't want to put in full power, otherwise they're going to shoot off the edge of the rails. Well, I think you know what's coming next. Let's get it onto the track and let's see it running round. Because this is so loose, I'm actually going to put the casing on. That should hold it together. Put in just one of the screws for the time being to keep it from falling off or dislodging. And let's take it over to the track and see if it will run. Oh, traits. Just watching for the Lone Star going past. Traits class 27 I think, and let's see where she goes. There she is. Nice smooth takeoff. And round that side, just give it a little more oomph. Going the wrong direction. And what I'm going to look for is the lamp. Not very visible in that side there. And round the back. So let's put it into the opposite direction and see if we can get any lamp lighting here. Just wait for the L6 to come past. Again, there's not much evidence of any bulbs lighting up. I'll have to investigate that. But I think it's definitely running very nicely. So Ian will be pleased. Get that back to him hopefully today. Right, what else? That's about it really. The diode block causing most of the problem, bit of lubrication, and that's about it really. So I'm just going to set it up with a little rake of wagons or coaches, see what I've got in my box, and I'll let it run for a little while. Okay, I'll be back shortly. I've hooked this up to a little rake of a mixture of DR line coaches and a couple of LMS. 5 coaches been taken without any problem whatsoever. Little tricks. And I can just give it a bit more oomph. And there she goes, a nice express train. Going faster, overtaking the Lone Star, just about. There we are. Yep. So, let me just check out the lamps, and we'll get it boxed up and back to Ian. So, I hope you enjoyed that. Another N-gauge servicing video on the tricks. I think it's a class 27. I really need to learn these numbers. I'm just trying to go by the running number, D5379. I think it's a class 27, might even be a 31. Anyway, I'll check that out. That's a nice one as well. Anyway, here we go. Once again, thank you for watching. Hope you learned something from that. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, you might want to subscribe. Certainly like, any favourable comments, I'd appreciate them. And important thing of all, keep watching YouTube. So, bye for now.